Hello, I'm Paul Scheele. Welcome to this session of Brilliant Health. This is our fourth session in the series of 6. How are you doing? Have you successfully taken some small steps toward improving your health and wellness? Have you noticed some shifts in the way that you've been working with food and your physical body? What have been some of your indicators of success in the direction of where you're headed? Have you changed your relationship with food, with the body image that you see in the mirror? And what are you experiencing with paraliminals? They're amazing technology, aren't they? When you hear, "This is Paul Scheele," do you immediately drop into the state that we've been playing with? Hopefully so. Well, this session that we're getting into is about sleep. Our goal is that you take charge of your sleep for a number of reasons: for better rest, total revitalization of your mind, your body, your emotions, for productive dreaming, and also for effective problem solving. We're going to begin the session the way we have been, with a drop-in. We're going to do what we did in the first couple of sessions, which is to do a stand up. So please stand up. Hydrate before we get started. We'll drink of water, and then to do a little bit of movement. Now we're going to do the third part of our cross crawl pattern. Do you remember this first one? Crossing over the midline, touching the opposite knee, outside of the opposite knee. And then we did the opposite arm and leg, kind of like John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever, right? And then the third part is to touch the opposite heel behind you. Now, as you do that, you can swing the other arm in front of you. So again, these are crossing over the midline. You could go from this one back to that. You notice your brain suddenly stopping as you do that, and then back to the cross crawl. Okay, good. So now with that movement, we're going to do some tapping, this one at the side of the eyes. So a couple of fingers on the side of the eyes, right along the bone next to the eye. If you tap it at the edge of your eyebrow on the side of the eyes, you give yourself positive affirmations as you're doing this. So we're going to do some affirmations about sleep. When I sleep at night, I sleep deeply. When I sleep, I rest completely. I gain value from my rest. My dreaming mind is a source of great resource to me. My dreaming mind is a source of great resource to me. Good. So we stood up, hydrated, did some movement exercises, we did some tapping. Next part is to drop in. So let's go do that. I'm going to use my favorite drop-in chair in this space here. It's a nice space, isn't it? So take a moment to put your feet on the floor, your hands resting on your lap. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, close your eyes and go within, relaxing your shoulders, bringing your awareness of yourself to the space your body is occupying. Relaxing your shoulders relaxes the muscles of your chest and shoulders and puts the breathing mechanism where it should be, which is in your diaphragm. Relaxing the muscles of your face, smoothing out your forehead, relaxing around your eyes. You can still feel that energy of the tapping there. Getting a hint of a smile around your eyes and lips. Noticing the rhythm and flow of the breath in your nostrils. Feel that breath flowing. See if you can let that breath flow uninterrupted so that one flows into the next in a smooth and continuous cycle without pauses. And let the exhale and inhale be of a similar duration, bringing balance to the body-mind, to the left and right hemispheres of the brain, to the active and passive energy fields within the body. You've set aside this time to explore brilliant health, especially as it relates to your sleep patterns. There is no way to know exactly how you fall asleep. It's a similar question to the question, where does the north wind blow from? It doesn't. There is a low pressure system in the south, a high pressure system in the north, and it is pulled. The air mass is pulled to the south. Similarly, we create the right environment for sleep, and we are pulled into that transition from wakefulness to dream to sleep. The dreaming mind is a valuable resource to you. Your sleep is a time of natural meditation and restoration. Every 28 minutes that you sleep, the entire body cycles through a regeneration of the organs within you. And throughout the night that you sleep, your organ systems individually are focused on during different times in the night. And so you're learning to use sleep. We spend a third of our lives sleeping, and a third of the time that we sleep in dreams. And when we learn to use our dreaming mind and our sleeping body to our benefit, the rewards can be tremendous. Feel yourself in this relaxed state of alertness, knowing that you can return to this way of dropping in any time that you like. Bring your hands together and give them a good rub, make them nice and warm. Bring your hands up to your eyes and open your eyes to the palms of your hands. Slowly draw your hands away from your face and your gaze into the room around you. All right, so there's a lot of interesting research that's been happening around sleep. We know that as a culture, we're not sleeping enough. It used to be a badge of honor that we would get by with 4 to 5 hours of sleep. Somebody would say, I can get by in 5 hours. We think, oh, that's so cool. I want to sleep less too because we're going to get so much more done. Well, the research is in, and it indicates that we're chronically underslept and we can't replenish sleep deprivation. We have to start where we are at the moment. And ideally, we're going to sleep 7, 8, or 9 hours a night. Fascinating. We used to tease teenage kids for being able to sleep that long. Now it's really indicating that we need to be sleeping that long as well. Well, normally when we sleep, we're sleeping in 90-minute cycles. So if you are going to lay down to go to sleep, it's great if you could sleep for an hour and a half, 3 hours, 4.5 hours, 6 hours, 7.5 hours. Now on my iPhone, I have the ability to do a bedtime clock. So I set it for a particular time that I go to bed. And then I also set that I want to wake up in 7.5 hours. So I sleep from 11 to 6:30. And what I do is I have the alarm tell me about 45 minutes in advance of my sleep time to ring me, chime me, and let me know it's time to get ready for bed. Well, that signals a set of behaviors that I would engage in. And it's important also to think about how we go into sleep is almost as important as the time we spend in sleep. I'll explain more as we go through this session. And then also as we transition out of sleep into our wakeful day, again, very important time. Now, years ago when I first studied hypnosis, there was a field of research in hypnosis that was talking about what was called the twilight state. It's that time between wakefulness and sleep, as we're making that transition from one into the other. Now that happens before we go to sleep and that happens after we go to sleep. So there is a twilight period, if you will, that's ideal because our mind is calm and focused, and we're actually very available to communicate to our non-conscious resources, our other than conscious capabilities of mind. So it's a great time to have a communication. Now, there's a lot of research on the value of sleep, but also on the value of dreaming as well. There's mental and emotional health implications if we're getting sleep deprived or if our dream states are getting agitated. Our physical well-being and our weight maintenance is also dependent upon how much sleep we're getting. So for example, when I went through a 90-day challenge to shift from the way I used to eat into a more paleo approach to eating, during that time I was very careful not to overexert and exercise, but to also make sure that my rest time was available to me, lower my stress levels. That way my body could get a good reset. So weight maintenance is going to be a big issue. Really exciting for me, having started Learning Strategies Corporation, is that a lot of research is showing that learning is consolidated during sleep. In fact, when we go to sleep at night, there's a series of stages of the dreaming mind that happens. The first set of dreams are really essentially sweeping away all of the unnecessary information, the things that we experience during the day that don't have any relevance. So it sort of cleans it, flushes it, gets rid of it. The other thing that it does is it says, here are the important things that you learned today, and it begins to build dendritic connections in the brain for that information that we need to access at a later time. The other thing that's been really well researched in sleeping and dreaming is about problem solving. There's a lot of ways in which problem solving can be enhanced when you learn to use your sleep time effectively. So I'm going to share with you 5 ways to really master a good night's sleep. And the first one is that we should be sleeping in a cave. Really black out the shades. Cover power lights on electronics, dim your clock's display, keep your room at a cool 60 to 65 degrees, which can help also fend off hot flashes. If you happen to be menopausal, that'll help a lot. Secondly, what we want to do is keep technology out of the bedroom as much as possible. There's 2 things about it. Number one are the electromagnetic fields that are around it. But the other is that there are lights on screens that is emanating. In fact, My iPhone has a sleep setting where it turns my phone to a more tan setting because blue light has a tendency to stimulate the brain and suppress melatonin, which is a sleep-inducing hormone. A study in the journal PNAS, the Proceedings from the National Academy of Sciences, has shown that people who read print books right before bed actually sleep better than those who read on an e-book tablet. So if we can, keep technology out of the classroom, out of the bedroom, I mean. Nextly is go to sleep to the best of your ability, rested and happy. And I know this sounds weird, but if the busyness of the day has exhausted us, that's not the best time to go to sleep. It's not the best thing to just fall dead asleep off your feet and just pound it out. You know, you're gone. It's better if you could sit, do a relaxation exercise, listen to a paraliminal, do a few stretches, movements, yoga exercises. It's going to help oxygenate the body, create greater rest. And then when you go to bed rested, your body actually rests more. The sleep is more beneficial. But I also said go to bed happy. If you have an argument with your significant other or spouse, when you're going to sleep, don't go to sleep angry. Make sure that you make up, that you go to bed on good terms. Really let it go. Allow yourself to have that natural state of joy of being alive and being in relationship be present for you. I would recommend also the paraliminals before bed would be either deep relaxation, which is a great one, I'll talk a bit about in a moment, but then also a paraliminal called Sleep Deeply, Wake Refreshed. It's got 2 sessions on it. The Sleep Deeply side brings you into the sleep state, and then in the morning after awakening, you listen to Wake Refreshed, and you start the day in a much more powerful way in that way. The next thing is to see if you can turn the mind off. You see, most people who go to sleep, especially if they're active, busy, have successful careers, finally, you get some quiet time, right? I mean, people who do online courses through online university programs, most people log on after 11 o'clock at night. Why? Family's asleep, finally got some quiet time, you can work on it on your own. So the idea here is once you lay down and now you have quiet time, there is a tendency to want to use that to address all the problems that you're facing. Bad idea. Past a certain point. So it's okay to go 15, 30, even 45 minutes, but after 45 minutes, you're going to discover that you're just looping. You're not getting any further in the problem-solving process because you got to be up looking at materials, you know, taking actions and so on. What you have to be able to do is say, okay, mind, consolidate all of this. Take all of the questions that I have, all the learnings that have occurred, and present to me in the morning insight that will help me take the next step once I awaken. So you have to learn to shut the mind off. This is where the paraliminal called deep relaxation is very helpful as well. I actually created it when my then 8-year-old eldest son was saying, Dad, you know, I listen to the paraliminals so I can shut my mind off, but at the end of the paraliminal it says, wide awake, alert, refreshed, feeling great. And I don't want to be, I want to go to sleep. Can you make a paraliminal that lets me go to sleep? I said, that's the next one I'm doing, and that's where I created deep relaxation that doesn't awaken you at the end. It gives you the opportunity to awaken or not. If you choose to just continue to go into a deeper rest and sleep, you can do so. There's another one called dream play. I'll talk about that in just a bit. So the fifth strategy is to make waking up at night a strategic and tactical advantage to you. This article says, don't just lie there when you're counting sheep. Get up, go to another room and do something low-key like knitting or reading. No TV until you feel sleepy again. What I'm going to suggest is if you need to do that, absolutely. However, if it's just a random awakening in the middle of the night, say to go to the bathroom, or you awaken from a dream and now you're laying in bed and saying, oh, great. Now I'm awake. I won't be able to get back to sleep. Tomorrow I'll be exhausted. Think of what's happening. Remember concentration, imagination, and suggestion? Worst thing you can do, right? So what you want to do is if you awaken at night, say, excellent. Now that I'm awake, I can speak directly to my nonconscious resources and gain access to them. I'm going to use it as nature's natural meditation. As I fall back to sleep, even if all I do is lie here now, resting, I'll rest both my mind and my body and have the equivalent of an additional 8 hours sleep. Now, those are suggestions that can be helpful. So use your imagination. Imagine the benefit to you of getting that. Focus your awareness here and now. Give yourself positive suggestions. So with concentration, imagination, and suggestion, you're actually using your mind effectively to create the end result that you want. And like I said, this is a natural time of meditation, so if you want to use this time for prayer, I find it very helpful, especially prayers of gratitude, prayers of healing for those that I want to send distance healing to. Really, really good time. Why? Mind is clear, body's relaxed, the whole world is in a very still, quiet state, and my communication, my thought waves, my heartfelt care for others is actually transmitted in a much more powerful way. So please consider all of these 5 ways to master a good night's sleep. Sleep in a cave, keep technology out of the bedroom, go to sleep rested and happy, turn the mind off, especially at a point of diminishing return, and make waking at night an advantage for you. So now I'd like to talk a bit about dream power, because the dreaming mind has a lot to offer. I'd like to share this article from Scientific American. Talked about just some of the examples. One night, there was an author who imagined someone coming to him, had a realization of an answer that he gave in a dialogue, woke up in the morning, put that insight into a formal paper, which he then published in a mathematics journal. But he's not alone. Friedrich August Scheele came up with the structure of benzene. Dmitri Mendeleev conjured up his final form of the periodic table of the elements. Otto Lowy thought of neuroscience experiment that won him a Nobel Prize. Modern engineers, Paul Horowitz, Al Huang, dreamed designs for laser telescope controls with laser computing. Many artists, filmmakers, others. Mary Shelley dreamed up scenes from Frankenstein and wrote the book. Robert Louis Stevenson came up with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Ludwig van Beethoven, Paul McCartney, Billy Joel, they all awoke to discover new tunes ringing in their minds. I mean, on and on and on. The dreaming mind is a place where a lot of resolution can occur. So how do we take advantage of that The best way to do so is make sure that as you're going to sleep at night, tell your mind what it is that you would like to have happen. I recommend sitting in the edge of the bed. If you're really tired, you start laying down, start talking to yourself. You might end up just falling asleep before you get there. But establish your intention, right? Remember the formula: attention, intention, no tension? Just like that. So tell your mind what it is that you will achieve during your dream and sleep time. Sitting on the edge of the bed, visualizing and imagining it, that this problem that you've been working on during the day will be worked on with your dreaming mind, and an answer will be delivered to you either in the form of a dream or on an insight that you will awaken with. The next thing you need to remember to do is pay attention to your dreams, right? Some people, and if I ask a group of folks, how many of you feel you never dream? At least 10% of the room will raise their hand that they just never dream. The truth is, they do. It's just that they don't remember their dreams. So, and in every 90-minute cycle of sleep, at the end of the cycle, we come up into what's called the alpha range of brain activity. And it's in alpha that we have this thing called paradoxical sleep. It's rapid eye movement, high level of brain activity. The brain is way more lit up than it is even in a waking state. It's fascinating. So if you remember your dreams and remember to then journal your dreams, if you've ever learned something called mind mapping, where you can quickly capture an idea with a central idea and lines raised that have ideas bursting out of those, great way to capture a whole dream sequence in a single image. That's what I'd recommend you be able to do. Keep something by your bed where you could record your dreams. And first thing upon awakening, ask yourself, what was I just dreaming? And if you can stay absolutely still, not moving your body, but stay absolutely still, then what happens is the kinesthetics of the dream will help bring back what your mind was actually thinking of in the dream state. So program your mind telling yourself what it is you want to achieve during your sleep and dream. Remember your dreams, journal them when you can. And by journaling your dreams, you're going to start paying attention to the dream symbolism, which is a carrier of specific information. Most of our dreams are metaphors, symbolic representations of information that will help. But you've got to be able to interpret that. Our Genius Code program is about that. Nextly, is if for some reason you awaken from a dream, then tell yourself, as I go back to sleep, I want to remember to recognize I'm dreaming. This is something called lucid dreaming. And if you give yourself a mnemonic technique to remember to notice that you're dreaming, then you can actually awaken in the dream state. Sounds odd, but you can be in a dream and dreaming and know that you're in the dream dreaming. This is called lucidity, and there's a lot of research at Stanford Sleep Research Laboratory, and Dr. Stephen LaBerge wrote some books about lucid dreaming. And you can become more skilled and more able at actually guiding or directing your responses to the symbols and events that occur in your dreams. We have a paraliminal. It's called Dream Play. Session A on the Dream Play is about remembering your regular dreams. So before you go to sleep, and it's going to guide you into your dream state, encouraging you to remember. And then the session B is about becoming more lucid and aware inside of the dream while you're dreaming. Fabulous benefit to anyone. In fact, Dr. Stephen LaBerge said that it's probably the most significant personal growth opportunity we have. Again, think about it. We sleep a third of our lives, and we're dreaming at least a third of that time that we spend dreaming. or sleeping. So if you can make practical use of those minutes of your life, you're going to translate that into significant benefit. Now realize, because the dream research is also saying that this can have benefits to you in terms of your physical health. It can have benefits for you in terms of your emotional well-being. It can help you maintain your weight or lose weight and maintain it once you've lost it. All of these things are things you can set as intention before you go to sleep. Now remember, you're going to sleep at night in the twilight time where there's this beautiful opportunity to communicate with these further resources of your mind. Use it. Concentration, imagination, suggestion, right? Give it your attention, establish your intention, and then let it go. Have no tension about it. Positive expectancy with no expectations. Stay really open. And then in the morning when you awaken, great transition time. Very relaxed, very still really connected to the infinite. Right there, speak into that. Talk about what it is you desire to create today. Now, one of the things that I did on my iPhone is I took the final track 3, from one of our Paraliminals, and I told my iPhone to play that instead of an alarm tone. So I took the 10-minute supercharger, track 3, and that's my wake up. It's only about 2.5 minutes long. But what it does is it brings me into the day with my own voice, really alive, alert, excited, fabulous, all that kind of good stuff that you hear in Paraliminals. It's great. So consider playing with some of those things to facilitate the transitions in and out. In a moment, we're going to do a drop-in, and I'm just going to invite you to envision your dream and sleep tonight. And keep in mind the paraliminals that I've been talking about. There's sleep deeply, wake refreshed. That's one. The dream play paraliminal is another. Deep relaxation is another one. All of these are going to be beneficial. Next time we get together, we're going to be talking in the next session about what do we do to move beyond illness, disease, and pain? How do we deal with illness when we have it? How do we improve the prognosis? How can we deal with acute pain when it is occurring? And how can we learn to live disease-free and into high-level wellness in spite of the fact that we may have been in a situation where we've contracted some disease of some kind? So it's a powerful session. It's the next one coming up right now. I invite you to grab a little drink of water, and let's do a quick drop-in. Consolidate all this learning that we've gained. And make it fully available to us, okay? All set? Feet on the floor, hands resting on your lap. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, close your eyes. Go within. Bring your awareness of yourself to the space your body is occupying. Feel your shoulders relaxing. Relax the muscles of your face, your forehead, around your eyes, cheeks, jaw. Get that hint of a smile on your face. Notice the touch of the breath in your nostrils. And see if you can have that breath flow uninterrupted, smoothly, deeply, evenly. You know that there will be a time in this day that you'll go to sleep. Invite yourself to imagine your bedtime. Consider how many hours you intend to sleep. Ideally in cycles of 90 minutes, whether it's 6 hours, 7.5, 9. Whatever it is you can set aside for sleep time for yourself, establish that. And also, before you lie down, establish what's your intention, what will occur for you as you sleep. The restoration of your body, the return of health, the consolidation of learning, the resolving of challenges that you face during your wakeful state by finding a solution through your dreaming mind. Now, as you lay down to go to sleep, tell yourself that you want to remember your dreams upon awakening. And as you create this perfect environment in which sleep can occur, your mind naturally moves into this natural meditative time, withdrawing from the manifest world into the world of causation and creation. Imagine yourself awakening at the perfect time. If you'd set an alarm, maybe a minute, maybe 30 seconds before the alarm goes off, coming into awareness, asking yourself to remember, what was I just dreaming? Remembering your dreams, then open your eyes and journal. What were you dreaming? Then begin to think about transitioning into the day with gratitude, joy, love, positive anticipation of the good that's going to come. Now, once again, aware of yourself from head to toe in this moment, congratulate yourself for having taken this time to really expand your choices, your options for brilliant health in your life, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Now rub your hands together, make them nice and warm. Bring your hands to your eyes, open your eyes, the palms of your hands. Slowly draw your hands away from your face, into the room around you. Looking forward to seeing you on the next session. We're really going to get a new handle on how we can overcome illness and live into our brilliant health. See you soon.